wherever you are, whether you're on your way, doing your personal errands, because it's Saturday, it's weekend, most of you have the time, to run your personal errands. We're saying a very big good morning, or whether you are in your houses, watching us live, we're saying a very big good morning, or you're using your phone, catching us live on our social media handles, that is on Facebook and also YouTube. We're saying a very, very big good morning, and thank you for always tuning in on every Saturday morning here on Eyeafrica TV to listen to this special show dedicated to all of you out there. We all know how busy you are, during the week. Most of you don't have time to sit and watch TV, to know what is happening in and around the Gambia. That is why this breakfast show is here for you, because it is two segments. One is the, story segment where we pick 3 most important stories in the Gambia that is making rounds, and then give it to you, to update you on what is happening. And then the other segment is the guest segment where we have special topic of discussions that we'll be discussing. So today I have a powerhouse because, it's all ladies, so you know how it is when ladies, dominate a particular show or a particular program or particular issue. So it's a powerhouse today, and I'll be introducing them very, very soon. But first, we will have to go with our stories. di leen nuyu di leen sant yéen mi nga xamante ne yéen a ngi safoo Eyeafrica TV samedi bu nekk ngeen cuun pour rek déglu li ngeen seetaan li ngeen xamante ne mooy seen breakfast show bi comme ni ñu ko dee defee rek pour yéen la, parce que am na ñu bari ñoo xamante ne duñ dee am time pour toog seetaan télé wala seetaan news wala xam luy xew si dëkk bi ak li nga xamante ne mooy tamit si bitim réew. Moo tax breakfast show bi nekk fii. Breakfast show bi nag 2 segment la day nekk. Benn bi mooy story segment si maanaam dañ di jël ñetti story yi nga xamante ne rusé na fii si biir Gambia bi ñu isil leen ko yéen tamit ngeen xam lan moo nekk di dem si biir réew mi. Bi si des nag mooy guest segment bi, maanaam ñu am suñu lu ñu waxtaanee indi ñi nga xamante ne xarañ nañ si issue bi ñu ñëw toog waxtaane yéen li yëpp pour rek keep leen posted and keep you guys updated. So without having much ado, tey nag powerhouse mooy powerhouse nag tey ñaari jànq yi maanaam ladies yu rafet laa fi amee ñoo xamante ne macha allah xarañ nañ si li ñoo def ak tamit si li ñoo yëngu, waaye si kanam tuuti rek di ngeen xam lu tax tey ñu ñëw fi ak tamit suñu topic of discussion bi. So first we are going with our first story, which is the Gambia Police Force has arrested 111 individuals, including students from various schools, for stunting or car racing over the weekend. Now, the arrested individuals include 41 boys and 70 girls who are both students and non-students in Iceland near Karaba traffic lights for drifting on public roads. Let's go with that story and then come back.
Gambian youths, especially students, take what is called stunting or car drifting as leisure and some sort of fun. Stunting or drifting is a driving maneuver where the driver of a car intentionally steers too much, causing the car's rear tires or sometimes all the tires to lose their grip on the road. The activity might be a recognized sport in some parts of the world, but it is illegal in the Gambia as there are no laws identifying it as a sport in the Gambia. It is usually conducted on roads and areas of residence where many see it as unsafe and can cause drastic accidents. The arrests, which constituted mostly of students, were charged with 4 counts of common nuisance contrary to Section 160 of the Criminal Code, idle and disorderly behavior contrary to Section 166 of the Criminal Code, obstructing a police officer in the due execution of duties contrary to Section 230B of the Criminal Code, Cap 10 Volume 3, and assaulting police in uniform in the execution of lawful duty. These individuals will face the courts on Monday, 13th November 2023. The schools involved in this dangerous and deadly activity, according to the police report, are Karaba Senior Secondary School, Bakwata Upper Basic, St. Teresa's, Methodist Academy, Gambia Senior Secondary School, Muslim High School, WAS, PIA, Glory Baptist, St. Maska, Graville, BS, Yunus, Charles Fowlis, Canifing East, among others. The police are urging parents to ensure that their children refrain from engaging in what they describe as risky behavior. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Yes, last weekend there over 100 individuals, including Muslim students, were arrested by the police for car drifting. We all know how this is going on, and many people, are against this issue because most of the time, think what they defe moy ay place yi nga xamante ne nit ñi dañ fa dëkk wala nit ñi ñu fa jaay te moto bi mën naa somersault at any time mu cause a drastic accident. Moo tax Gambia Police Force ñu ngi def luñ mun pour rek make sure ne car racing ñu gën koo xamee si stunting bàyyi nañ ko so ñi nga xamante ne arrest nañ leen last week lañ leen arrest si court bi maanaam last week Monday si lañ leen yóbbu si court bi and they were charged with 4 counts including obstructing a police officer ak yeneen mu nekk loo xamante ne lu doy waar la fii nii ci biir réew mi ci ay ndaw rek ñoo si nekk di engage suñ jógee nag si story boobu dañ dem Brikama the story reading the task force that was instituted by the government to clear all illegal structures along roads and highways has reached Brikama. Named a special security operation, the exercise has already removed several canteens and other structures along the roads in Brikama, just like it did in the Kanifing municipality. Now, one of the country's densely populated settlements, the operation began its activity by clearing all roads and highways in Brikama that are illegally occupied by petty trading, among others. Let's go with that story and then we'll be back.
The task force assigned to clear all illegal occupations on the streets and highways has reached Brikama, commonly called Satiba, one of the most densely populated settlements in the Gambia. Many believe that the operation in Brikama would be tough due to the number of petty tradings, especially on the highways and the main garage. As in other places, many who are found at fault believe that they are on the wrong side, while others who do not accept the reality believe the operation is a hindrance to their daily bread. All the canteens at the Brikama main garage were dismantled by the task force. Fatou Bojang, one of the affected individuals, said she has been selling breakfast at the garage for close to 20 years. Fatou somehow got disappointed that she thought only the highways are included but not the garages.
We heard that they were coming, but they said only the roads would be cleared and not inside the garage. I only learned today that the garages are also part of it. When they came, they asked us to leave the area, and for us, this was our source of income for many years, being it school fees, fish money, and other expenses. So if they remove us from this place and they do not provide a space for us, then this is going to be very tough. This is why I am pleading with the government to find a solution for us.
Meanwhile, Jim Drame, Save the Garage for Buffalo, supports the operation, saying that the garage is too congested with too many canteens.
This should be a supported initiative because the garage is too congested and there are a lot of canteens. Now, with the coming of this clearing initiative, the garage will be less congested and movement will be easier without being afraid of knocking on any canteens or individuals. Notwithstanding, it would be better if we could have a wider and bigger garage than this one, because the garage is small and the vehicles cannot fit in here.
The operation, yet to clock a month, has made massive progress since it started. Most of the areas cleared are spacious for both pedestrians and vehicle movement. Despite the progress and others appreciating the initiative, others believe that it is a hindrance to their daily earnings. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mariama Cham. The task force assigned
Operation Clear the Roads àgg nañ Brikama last week gis ngeen luñ fa def surtout si biir garage bu mag bi foofu noonu fu ñu dee jëlee ay Bafoulouto ay Kafountine cantine yi nga xamante ne ñoo fa dee jaay ndéewoo ak reer yëpp lañ fa génnee gis ngeen chef de garage bu Bafoulouto bi lu mu wax mu ne comme moom welcome na idea bi parce que garage bi mu ne xatut waaye because of xam nga nit yi dañ fa bari ak understand nga comme petit trading yu bari moo fa nekk loolu moo tax garage bi xat mu ne waaye daal lii dina nekk loo xamante ne lu am solo pare dina mën a def comme movement of vehicles mu yomba daal foofu noonu ci Bafoulouto waaye comme ni nga ko dee waxee rek operation bi am na ñu favor am ñoo xam ne favor wut leen am ñoo xam ne ñu ne lii comme is a hindrance to their daily earnings and all those things am ñu bari ñu ne comme baax na parce que fi mu nekk dëkk bi mu ngi free te nit ñi ak moto yi ñu ngi dem comme nu mu waree understand nga so mu nekk daal noonu la fa demee daal muy operation but still now they are on it. So we're going with our last story, and we have here today the Gambia Press Union Awards Committee, and we'll be discussing the upcoming National Journalism Awards. So with more of this, let's go with this story, this final story, and then come back and then open our topic of discussion, and then introduce them with Suma Ganima fi ame. So Gambia's hosting of the Organization of Islamic Conference Summit has this year has been postponed until May 2024, as announced by the Chief Executive Officer of the OIC Gambia Secretary Yankuba Diba on Friday. The Secretary said the reason for the postponement is the current war between Israel and Palestine, as we hear more in this report by Yahya.
The uncertainty surrounding the Gambia's hosting one of the biggest international events, Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit 2023, is finally clear. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation is the second largest intergovernmental organization with a membership of 57 states spread over 4 continents, which the Gambia is not an exception and will be hosting the 15th summit meeting. The press briefing was attended by Halima Sise, the Director of Middle East Affairs, representing the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Permanent Secretary from the Office of the President. CEO Diba stated that the agreement to postpone the 2023 summit was made by the government of the Gambia in consultation with the current chairperson of the summit based in Saudi Arabia and member countries. The decision was made due to the ongoing infrastructure developments and the current situation regarding the Israel and Palestine conflict. The summit has now been rescheduled to May 4th and 5th, 2024.
Gambia is not an island, and issues happening around the world, particularly in the Islamic Ummah, are naturally bound to affect us. Considering the current Israeli aggression and violence in the occupied territories of Palestine, and the proximity of just concluded joint extraordinary summit of Arab and Muslim countries in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the government of the Gambia, in consultation with the current chair, which is Saudi Arabia, King Salman, and member countries, decided to push the date of the 15th OIC summit in the Gambia to the 4th and 5th of May 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to emphasize that pushing the date ahead is not the same as cancellation. For purposes of clarity, the OIC summit in Banjul is neither cancelled nor taken away from the Gambia.
The Chief Executive Officer added that the postponed date provides an opportunity for the Gambia to enforce its state of preparedness and ensure significant completion of the road projects.
Acquiring the unanimous support of the entire leadership of the Ummah to postpone the summit from until May 2024 is a blessing and a great opportunity for the country to reinforce its state of preparedness. By May 2023, it is our hope that our road projects, especially the Bati Highway, would have significantly achieved completion. The tourist season, which will have ended giving access to more hotel rooms for the summit, and that all our projects will have either been completed or nearing completion.
The Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit stands as the largest gathering of its kind, drowning in rulers, heads of state, and government officials from its member states. The pivotal event serves as a platform for critical policy decisions and guidance on a wide array of issues pertinent to its member states and the Ummah. Khadija Tujalo, reporting for Eyeafrica News.
Okay, the OIC, the much anticipated or talked about OIC, which was expected to be held in December, has been postponed till next year, March, yes, due to the, war between Israel and also Palestine. So that is it for the OIC. It's not happening this year, but next year, inshallah, as according to the secretariat there. So that was the story segment, and I have a very special topic of discussion today because we're talking about journalism, and we all know how important journalists' roles are in the Gambia in national development and also economic-wise in whatever development that is. So, and these people, they're organizing an event, to award excellence in journalism, to give awards or to recognize the efforts of journalists in their various fronts, being it politics, being it health, being it education, being it human rights, you name the categories. So these are just the few categories that I'm listing, but as we go deep into the program, you will know all the categories and all the nitty-gritties, about this National Journalism Awards. So like I said earlier, it's a powerhouse because I have the Vice President of the Gambia Press Union, who doubles as this year's chairperson of the National Journalism Awards Committee. And I also have here the President of the Gambia Women Journalists Association, and she's the Brand and Communications Officer for the National Journalism Awards Committee. So that is why I say it's a powerhouse, because they are holding two positions, But today we're going to talk about their position in the National Journalism Awards. That is the chairperson of the awards committee and as well the brand and communication officer of the award. So we're going to talk about the National Journalism Award, and then they will tell you when is it, why, how, and where. So good morning, ladies. Good morning, Madam Vice Chair. Eyeafrica, how are you?
Thank you, Mariama, and thank you for having us here. It's actually quite a pleasure to be here at Eyeafrica to talk about one thing that I say it's very close and to my heart per se, which is the National Journalism Awards.
Yes, sir. That's really nice. Annette?
Good morning. Suba sang fi.
And everybody is listening.
Di leen jaajëfal ci seetaan bu rafet bi ak invite bi di leen wax comme ni ko MC waxee rek ñun nag li ñu fi indi mooy National Journalism Awards te this year nag ñu ngi ko def December 16 ci ay fan yu néew rek te dina doon lu doy waar dina doon lu am solo parce que ñun ci luñ bokk rek du yomb.
Okay, so Aïssatou dañ bëggoon nga wax ñu rek a bit about the National Journalism Award. What inspired this initiative, and how many years have Gambia Press Union been conducting such events?
The National Journalism Award, which is the NJA, started since 2016. The purpose is to recognize excellence in journalism, that is to reward journalists that have actually been doing tremendously well. You look at the work we do as journalists, it's quite daunting, but it's duty bound. So the entire year, you're always busy on doing certain things, especially owing to the fact of our role is being the fourth estate, trying to be the voice of the voiceless, bringing stories out there to the people, ensuring transparency and accountability, holding government and duty bearers to account when it comes to this thing is not something as easy as you might think it is. So the National Journalism Awards was actually first initiated for it to mark World Press Freedom Day. That was actually the day that it was first organized. Even when you look at the first years of the holding of the National Journalism Awards is on World Press Freedom Day, that is coming, which actually comes in line with this particular day. So it's going to be the 8th edition of the National Journalism Award, and mainly is to allow journalists to also send in their works that they've done for an entire year to look at which one they might think or which ones they've thought are the best of their reports, and then they send it to the GPU, and then we have an independent jury panel that will actually look through these stories that have been done by journalists.
Yow yaa nekk brand and communication officer on this awards committee, I can say, and we have seen, the activities, we have seen the advertisements, and we have seen the categories that have been shared so far. Léegi fi mu nekk nii foog naa entries yi, submission of entries is closed now, right? Can you tell us a bit about the entries and before it closes?
Comme noo ko waxee rek, entries yi dafa start on October 10th. By November 10th, and then you extend ko to 2 days, mo end November 12th. And currently, am nañu 156 mooy téeméer ak juróom fukka ak juróom benn entries, maanaam téeméer juróom fukka ak juróom benn journalist ñoo send stories yi pour National Journalism Awards yi. Entries yi nag close na mooy tëj na dem si November 12th. Léegi nag li war mooy jox nañ judges yi képp koo xam ne apply yoon nga rek through website bi wala email bi sa story compile nañ ko jox nañ ko judges yi nag li leen war ñu ngi si kawam fii ba ñetteeli fan si décembre su ko defee ñeneenteeli fan si décembre ba juróomi fan si décembre dinañ door di wax ne ñii ak ñii lañ taana si catégorie bu nekk su ko defee judges yi nag li leen war mooy ñu seet story suñu seen si ban anam lañ ko sene ndax li tax ñu ne story wala li tax ñu ne journalism sa story bi am na ko mooy lan story boo xam ne am na njëriñ wala am na lum saafaral parce que du ne dem nañ place sangam kii moo wax lele kële moo wax lele journalism weesu na level boobu noonu si jamono buñ toll nii so da ngaa gis ne jooju si dañoo bàyyi xel sa story bi ban njëriñ la am ak ndax jaar na si yoon ni lan mooy naka la journalist waree binda story moo nekk nga binda sa story bi te faruloo fen farfarlu woo jëluloo dégga bi nga dingal ko ndig dafa am loo ci nar so yooyu noonu yëpp la ñoo seet ba pare tamit ñu ngi seet naka nga bindee story bi ndax jaar na yoon ndax bind nga angale boo xam ne correct na su dee olof la ndax laaka nga olof boo xam ne correct na te tam su dee da nga submit sa story bi si olof da nga ko war a transcribe o nga interpret ko si English su ko defee jooje si suñ toogee ñu mun koo assess loolu tamit dinañ ko bàyyi xel ba tey tamit leneen lu ñu bàyyi xel moo nekk sa story bi ban at nga ko binda parce que fu mu nekk ni National Journalism Awards yi mu ngi seet story suñ def January 1st ba December 31st 2022 so su fekkee ne sa story bi si at boobu la bokk si catégorie boobu noonu la bokk ba pare tamit yow Gambian journalist nga yaa ngi Gambia wala yaa ngi outside Gambia waaye yaa ngi wax waxi Gambia te si Gambian platform nga nekk loolu tam jooji si dinañ ko bàyyi xel torop ak naka nga bindee sa angale bi ndax baax na ndax baaxul so loolu noonu yëpp jooji si dinañ ko seet te si loolu la ñuy tënka seen liggéey so loo xam ne it's within that ñoom foofu la ñuy seet ne noonu la ñuy taanee koo xam ne war naa mun a am award o war naa mun a jaala si nominees yi léegi da ngaa gis ne ñu ngi am 17 catégorie waaye catégorie bu nekk ñetti nit rek moo war a mun a bokk si nominees yi so jooji si nag loolu lañ leen sas
awards committee bi category bu nekk how many entries do you guys receive so far?
Right now loolu we cannot tell because ñun ni si award committee bi ñun amuñ chance pour xam kana submit ak lan la submit waaw mun nañ laa wax ne la 156 entries lañ am
on all the categories
waaw soo boolee categories yëpp 156 lañ am waaye pour ñu wax la ne la investigative ñaar la wala benn la wala ñetta la mun nanguñ la ko wax because dafa am ñoo xam ne ñoo responsible pour website bi these are not part of the award committee te nekkuñ staff yi GPU tamit ñooñu loolu mooy seen liggéey moo tax ñun munuñ la see wax dara because bokkuñ si xamuñ parce que li ñuy bañ mooy ñu ne award bi dañ ko farfarloo wala ñii dañ taana seen ay nit jox leen award bi wala ñii dañ bokk si lii moo tax ñooñu ñu win so pour bañ yooyu noonu yëpp moo tax suma classe gi moom munuñ laa wax sax ndax yow apply nga ndax kii apply na parce que léegi-léegi nga am ku la kool ne la apply naa ndax gis nga suma story bi I don't know xaw ma because du suma liggéey man suma liggéey mooy lan communication ak branding lépp loo xam ne comme pour award bi la comme noo ko war rek pour nit ñi gis award bi dégg award bi xam award bi ràññee award bi man foofu la suma liggéey am waaye comme ki nga xam ne moom moo amee website bi kooku su paree liggéeyam by the time jooju si ñu ñuy jox suñu stories kooku dinañu mun a wax ne business reporting bi am nañ 10 am nañ 3 you know kooku su paree loolu noonu suñu ko joxee te da ngaa gis ne when we come back ñun mun nañ laa wax ne la MC catégorie bi nii ak nii moo fa nekk but right now mun nañu laa jox loolu
so Aisha because Annette lu mu wax mooy comme mënuñ laa wax ñii ak ñi comme ñii ñoo apply si award bi te lii it was both physical I can say practical ak di nga xamante ne mooy online submission ba pare ñu bari ñu wax ne send naa waaye gisuma an email di ma wax ne comme like receive nañ sa dem bi also so many people were having this issue parce que ñu ne internet issue la mën nga apply sax mu bañ a dem mu càng te yow doo xam ne sax cangut ba pare ñëlee tamit duñ ko receive so how was that issue because there was an issue on that
dëgg la and ku loolu ñu ngi koy ñaawlu torop comme it has to do with issues of technology and we understand how it is GPU seen website bi especially the awards was built by someone nit moo ko biloon léegi kooku bu mu bilee website ba pare daf doon def handing over waaye bi mu doon hand over nekk defutoon official handing over so proper handing over defutoon fekk ki doon ñëw ku mujjee ñëw as IT technicians under the GPU mënutoon a take hold of everything su ko defee even last year suñu awards bi that was the same issue that actually happened ba mujjee bi am na ñoo xam ne sax seen bi mujjee wuñ toon a seen li ma defoon personally was man ak moom ñu dem ñu toog ñu xool submissions yëpp ñoo xam ne waxoon nañ ne submit nañ te submit duñ ko woon right dañ leen joxoon an ultimatum ma am pour call leen personally man suma bopp maa leen doon call ne leen ne yaa ngi waroon a seen lii de waaye lii bi proper wul senaat ko bu baax so this was a mechanism because at the end of the day the fault was not on the side of the person that was submitting ñun la woon because danga doon gis am na koo xam ne comme dangaa gis nga submit gis email bi sendut nga submitaat benn person benn story daf ko def seen ba ñetti yoon because of there was no email response li happened on last year moo happen on this year because even whatever step that we were supposed to do on the website then they am pour contact IT technician ku biloon website bi pour mu jox ñu go ahead ak all the permissions balaa IT technician bi di mun a ne but then we are hoping ne balaa next year that thing will be resolved so man li ma doon def this year as a mechanism mooy I was not interested because as the chairperson of the judges of the committee I might be part of a media house and all that, but then in as much as I am given the onus to actually serve, whatever I do should be something that I should do with due diligence. Exactly. So that being the case, almost every day, dama dey call IT technician, minakala, that submissions yange ñew daf ma dey jox update on a daily basis, daf ma dey jox update just to ensure that nit ñi duñ dee send mu ngi ñew, because yene da nga tok like anet lim wax rek da nga tok nit call la ma ngi send suma story bi ndax gis nga man duma xam ndax gis nga, so ma call nga ne ma sa send na de ndax gis nga ko dama dey call ma la ko ndax ay submissions ñew na tay mu ne ma ne waaw, so duma xam kan mo send, so because man suma yoon nekkut ci loolu am ma benn soxla ak loolu. Even at some points, in terms of issues of transparency, that is how these things is ensured. When the judges panel was actually created, yes, it's man as the chairperson should actually know most of these judges and all that. So kuneka den la just arrest with landala sent TOR and everything was developed and sent to them. Once that was done, kuneka what they are supposed to do step by step as to everything was sent to them. Bima kosene pala suma liggéey ak judges yi. Even suñ demee ba si besi awards sax man duma xam sa ñan ñoo win. ñoom ñoo ko xam, so man suma yoon nekk si, so yu si bari jooji si ak IT technicien bi ñooy mën a liggéey fu mu nekk because moom moo xam submission si naka la, so moom daf leen a guide to moom sax at some point du xam sax ñooñu lan la ñoo liggéey because at some point moom dafaa génn si page bu gars yi nekk then mu des ñoom kese ñun sax suñ yoon nekk si, so even when it comes to xëj na defar certificate si ak crystal si chairperson of the judges juries panel bi moom dafaa liste ak printer bi directly kii defar cristal si tamit moom ak kooku ñooy liste directly pour mu jox ko ñun ñun suñu yoon nekku si. We don't have anything. It's like judges, it's an independent panel. ñun suñu yoon nekku si. So only thing I did was come buñ setee and everything ba gars yi waroon a meet I had to call ma laaj leen comme how far they are ndax commencé nañ seen liggéey suñ buñ ma ne waaw ma ne leen kon man suma liggéey ak yéen jeex na yéen da ngeen a def seen liggéey ba bés bi ngeen war a def short listing bi then ngeen hand over to the IT technician, mom did not get back to you, then you definitely know that.
Okay. So, then they say every year from journalists to their subject.
Or somebody can recognize the work of a journalist, mujal ligayam, somebody talk about right? For now, that is possible. But over the years, nobody then they want to come, why not GPU change strategy? Instead of your journalists, younger son, why not you recognize certain people who are doing great in the media fraternity? Whether we make a print, whether we make a broadcasting, understand? So, you select their own individual, nominate their own people, and then give you an award. More, more effective than people sending their own stories for awards.
Yeah, that is very true. But Lolta Misoko said, no, that's going to be a very huge task to do. Come GPU, like you see, board la consists as secretariat, but it would need. So, aside from the secretariat doing the work of the GPU, board each person is engaged in one thing or the other. So that might be somewhat, it's possible, but that might be somewhat a difficult thing to do. And then we could actually move from that to, but then I think that is going to be something that might take a bit of time, maybe in 2-3 years to come, that could come a reality. But I think it's a very good point to note, and for sure, that could be put into consideration, but it might be a bit of a Herculean task to do. So because at some point, xam nga yi dee am ak yooyu noonu yow ki nga consider mooy the best kii tam ki moo consider mooy the best ak kële dafa ute xam nga understand so usually those things will actually happen xëy na man bariwuma nit si dëkk bi in as much as suma liggéey baax na mun naa def liggéey waaye ñu ma like bariwul for example ñu ma like bariwul so ñan laa expect ñu nominatal ma ñu votal ma that will become an issue.
Comme last year or year before last gis nañ TV of the year, radio of the year, journalist of the year, it's constant parce que boobu dañ ko dee am every year maanaam ku gën a bari le award kooku leen dee jox li nga xamante ne mooy bi waaye dañ gis this year tamit catégorie si dañ xala wàññeeku so lu waral loolu
catégorie bu ñu génnee woon last year ak this year the same moo nekk TV ak radio of the year boobu usually has to do with voting and it has not been that much forthcoming especially dafa nekk ne comme xëy na benn media house rek ay ñëw pour vote one particular media house to say. So it would be really difficult for Ngamuna new voter. For example, when you go to a place like maybe for example GRTS, it has a larger number of individuals. Staff them for new voter for GRTS as a TV of the year. When you have another TV station, so and the aspect of voting and relating to this GSM operators also is some bit of a challenge because of the money that is also involved at some point.
Okay.
But it's actually a good thing that I think it was just once being introduced Lulu, and that was the end of it at some point.
Okay. So is there any chances by where we can reintroduce those?
Yeah,
because this is the only national recognized journalism award in the Gambia, and aside from the Gambia Press Union, many people don't recognize other, even though we have it, but nobody, they prefer the GPU National Journalism Award.
That is very true, and I think you are very right when you spoke about that. So it's something that we can do. It's a work in progress. It should be a work in progress. Li xew mooy nekk next year suñoo def awards dañoo teel a plan. Usually then they tell a plan. Why this year then a delay. An initial committee was set up for the awards, but it has not been pragmatic. Spending 2 months, the committee wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
But you want to a last bit because initially the plan was to do then we going to put on the work to move it come World Press Freedom Day, because that was the reason why the award was actually done. So because of issues of finances and funds, motor on GPU the code and drag when at a new year because December last year December December. While swing plan was not for it to be in December, then come on the earlier. Now just come every year you go on the earlier, then you model what see base been code and more May 6th.
Okay.
So little motor on what this is still now, it's something that we will put in the pipeline. After the awards, then I'm meeting as to what went wrong, what went right, and what can we adjust. So Bobu Munaneka starting point for the 2024 awards. Okay. So that will be actually put into consideration. But again, we work on a category, which is the security reporting category.
Yes, exactly.
We've understood the aspect of security. It's one thing that we've been doing. Everybody has been reporting and looking at recent security situations in the country. We thought it wise now, it's good that we could include the security category, especially owing to the fact of the SSR, that is security sector reform that is already ongoing. Yeah. So Motorhorn new and the one that security reporting category.
Yeah, I think that was a very good idea by the GPU because one riskler, because journalists, it's not about like the paperwork also, but also the activities. You've seen journalists going around with security officers or security apparatus, covering issues or covering readings which are so it's not even safe, though they are with the security, but nobody knows. So I think it was a very good idea that the GPU include this particular category. So Anna, let's come to the gathering of funds. We all know how challenging it is to gather funds for a particular program. And I think anything that has to do with journalism in this country or that has to do with journalists, I think people should really put in their resources to make sure that they support them. So how is the fund generation so far?
Like Aissatou said in her deliberations, raising funds is why the award has been dragged to December. I mean, it's totally tiring. It's not easy, but let's say alhamdulillah, because we're able to make progress. It's not as easy as it looks, and the institutions, some are forthcoming, and it's kind of promising because commitments in Yungfa, but then the actual funding is not yet there. For instance, you have institutions that have pledged to support, but I mean, just a pledge is not a guarantee. A lot of people might pledge, but would they actually come on board? Say 4th minute be. This is always an instance where people have experience in this country. Ngeen waxtaan ngeen d'accord ci kaddu ngeen fas. This is few days to the day, and then you fail. So this is just one of the reasons why the awards has been delayed to this year. If all the people that pledged or committed actually delivered as expected, konon awards we do not late any come this do not exhibit December. But then the low tam dafa nek an issue. But then ñun luñ nekk di def as an awards committee, especially Aisa and Buba, who are responsible for the finances. Letters have been sent to a lot of institutions in this country, including ministries, CSOs, and of course ministries. And well, comme lu ma nekk di wax rek yaakaar amna. For instance, the Ministry of Tourism, HITNA, am nañ yaakaar si ñoom ne dinañ come on board. Nga am ñu demee ni ci NHRC yaakaar am na seen boor, and then nga am the Chinese embassy. These are people ñoo xam ne comme yaakaar am na si ñoom. Nga am ñoo xam ne tamit foo jaar rek nga delloo leen jukkal. Ñii nekk nañ ñoo xam ne yàgg nañ di support award bi for the past 3 years. Although this year they are not yet on board, but we're hoping that they come on board. Nga am the likes of the European Union, nga am the likes of Child Fund the Gambia, nga am RNA, is it? nga am unique solutions ñi bokkoon nañ si ñoo xam ne they always take the forefront in terms of funding nga am partner bu mel ni the Gambia Tourism Board, Ministry of Tourism. On the Ministry of Tourism last year they were on board and this year tamit yaakaar am na gars yi jox nañu seen kaatu ne dinañ li leen war dinañ ko def so ba tey rek da ngaa gis ne comme ku nekk rek soo ñëwee rek lum tuuti tuuti bu waay xeeb dara comme li ma doon wax rek si suma yeneen engagement si mooy Gambia it's very sad to say it's only when they have press conferences or they have meetings lañ di realize ne there's something called the media si lañ di realize ne media bi am na solo si dëkk bi loo wax ñu ne la hey media bi am na njëriñ waaye su media bi soxlee dangaa gis ne dafa metti kon dafa mel ni li ñoo wax ne media bi am na njëriñ si ñoom it's not true I mean su noonu ne lu déggu la si ñoom media bi am na solo comme tey media bi mu awards xam nañ ne National Journalism Awards has been in existence for 8 years juróomi at ak ñetta du lu ndaw du ay fan ay at lañ wax te du ay weer su dee ne noonu la fa demee every year xam nga ne ñii dina ñëw fuga sa bunta bu dee ne yow looy oote ne di nga taxawal media bi wala yow da nga ànd ak ñi si media bi obviously doo nangu sa ñu laa toppa dama dee always get reference of different countries Sénégal benn Ghana ñaar ñii seen National Journalism Awards yi duñ dee problème bu ñuy am ñoom duñ koy am ñoom seen mbir daf dee yomba because seen waa dëkka seen nguur bi seen business kat yu nekk si dëkk bi ñoo xam ne am nañ soxla si dëkk bi rek dañ xam njëriñi media bi te dañ jox media bi seen aha ak seen yooyu ñu teg leen place maa ngi ko doon wax ne dafa yomba bi looy sol sa nit moo la koo indil waaye fii Gambia yow I'll take you as an example da nga am ku la solal every weekend yaay lijjanti solal sa bopp su doon beneen dëkk la yow looy sol du nekk sa problème parce que
on what to wear
every Saturday da ngaa gis ne ñawkat yi nekk si koñ bi sa ñooy ne hey dama dee gis kii si internet bi de mu ngi Eyeafrica every samedi dafa am lu mu war a sol tey samedi bi man maay volontaire ma solal la defaral la make-up ëllëg Aysatu volontaire defaral la make-up te ñii nekkuñ borom xaalis borom business yu ndaw la ba den dañoo use media bi pour attract small businesses or adverts right indirectly te ñun Gambia loolu lañ ñaaka dangaa gis borom business yu mag si dëkk bi sax borom tur yi sax pour nga approach leen problème la waxatuma laa suñ ministre si ak suñ government yi for instance in Ghana seen awards yi each ministry take care of an award they have almost up to 25 entries te ministry yi dañoo compete youth and sport dañoo compete ne suñ sport journalist bi ñun ñoo koo toppatoo du manqué dara ñu nekk si wàllum wérgu yaram gi dañuy ndamoo ne ñun ñooy toppatoo ñooñu ñu nekk si wàllum jigéen dañuy ndamoo ne ok ku win award jigéen bi last year dañ leen joxoon 50 this year dañ laa jox 100 parce que ñii ñun ñoo compete waaye ñun ndax am nañ loolu ñun ba tey ñu ngi xool suñ ministre si ak office yi di leen toppa pour ñu uyu suñ kool sa problème la ba fu ma toog de wax ak yow ñu ngay génn di lijjanti
so
naka la
benn ministry boo xamante ne support na even a single category for now
Aïcha amagum
ministry that has actually supported. The only support that we receive in hand, the Monica Chinese Embassy. The Chinese Embassy, this is the first time that they are actually coming on board. We reached out to them within a week. They actually responded and then gave. They were the first one to give. So you have also the NHRC who are actually working on theirs in progress. But then again, HNATA may come with time. We're hopeful ne come new body didn't, but like she said, it's difficult to reach out.
But should there be even hope? Like, should there be even hope? Like, this is once every year. It's not about like, okay, every 6 months or every 3 months, but once a year. So, okay, let's talk about the government. This is not about buying the media. This is just once. So, have you reached out, to the higher levels and things like that?
Not to a certain level that we've actually reached out, because there are certain institutions that you think if you reach out, you already know what the response will actually be at some point, so you might not want to. So even if you go, it might be somewhat a waste of time. Even those that we have, that we've actually outlined, it's difficult to get them. Even some of them have committed, but you have to knock and knock again. Okay. For the case of a child fund, which have actually continued to be a partner, we met them, they've actually gave their award. When it came time for follow-up, I called, they were like, yes, we are going to do this. And last week I received a call that we've already approved everything that we are going to give you, and then in due course we will call you to come and collect your check. And that is what we expect from most of these institutions. The likes of NDMA that have taken the environment awards have also given us the award. So hopefully next week I'll actually call. So what happened, the beauty is that there are certain categories that we know. Some people have, some institutions have actually taken ownership, like the likes of the security reporting. It came this year, and CRPD actually took the category owing to the facts there, because they've been advocating for the issue of the security sector reform. So they took that as part of their advocacy for them to also reward the security reporting category. And it's interesting, there will have also been a group of individuals, concerned Gambians to say, that actually came and then engaged us that they want to support one of the categories, but they are not doing it as people from institutions. They're doing it as individuals, as Gambians. And whatever they had at the end of the day, some part of it will go to the category and the rest will actually be given to the GPU as part of their own support to the GPU in this particular day. That goes to show how some people are actually trying to take ownership of these things. And that is what we want. When it comes to a certain level, all of these categories have institutions that they are attached to. We want these institutions to take ownership of these categories. And it wouldn't be difficult. The only thing that the GP will do later on is just to sort out for the venue and then what they are going to cater on for the food, and that's it. But once these people take care of the categories, it becomes easier. So we know what we are doing. We will not even be going helter-skelter to look out for money. You might also want to know that we all do understand that the GPU doesn't have its money to a certain level. Whatever the GPU has, it's a donor-funded agency. Whatever money that we have, it's this that we get from our donor partners in order to be able to fund the activities. That might not suffice to actually fund an award. It is very, very expensive to actually fund an award. Imagine having a budget of almost $2 million.
Wow.
Yes, that's the thing. Knowing how high prices are, you go to certain places. Last year we got a venue. It was around, what we had for the venue and for the food was around a little over 300,000. This year the budget went almost 600,000.
Just for the venue?
For the venue and the food.
And the awards?
Yes.
Okay, 600,000.
Yes, so now, even as of now, we have not even settled or confirmed the venue yet. And in normal circumstances, we should have actually confirmed the venue. But owing to the way things are, we are still not confirmed. But then we are hopeful that by the end of next week, we will actually confirm the venue for this year's awards.
Okay. Aisha, dina simi sa chairperson mbahana bi ma dugal la sa GPU vice president. With all this happening, you know, you going through challenges in order to gather funds for a one night just to celebrate journalism work in this country. Many journalists will be like, we are not respected. Like the only time they respect us moy suñu soxlay wala ñu bëgg ñu cover seen events. Even da nga dem ci event bi sax, they will not give you the respect that you deserve as a journalist. So do you believe that, like, with all these things happening, you people struggling to get the funds for one night, do you think that saying it's true, like we are not respected?
That could be,
or we are not given our due.
It could be interpreted in different ways. Yes, we are not given our due. That might be people from outside, but us at the GPU, we respect the work of journalists.
No, aside from the GPU, yeah, because this is the body, you know, responsible for journalists. But like, okay,
people outside.
Yes.
But again, that could be interpreted in several ways. You know, one thing that is difficult is all of us. It's a hard fact though. We are all working as journalists, but we are not all on the same page, and that becomes a problem. You might accept one thing, but I might not accept it. I don't know whether you get it. So you might accept certain thing for the favor of someone to the detriment of your fellow colleagues. And when you come to that particular level, when respect is not given, it actually cuts across everyone. Sometimes you go to certain events, we can have a consensus that if these people don't start early, we can all leave. Yes, we can all agree to leave, but one person will decide to stay.
Exactly.
So when that happens, what would you say? It becomes an issue. And it also comes back to us as journalists. When, like what the Wolof would say, this old age adage which says, "Who the name like you say?" No, exactly. So the respect starts within you as a person. How much do I respect myself? Respect attracts actually respect. And they said respect is not earned, it's given.
Given, sure.
So these are certain things that we put into consideration. It's high time we now start understanding and knowing our values, why we are doing what we are doing, not to be bottlenecking people. So it's your job, you should be respected. And this is something that is putting food on the table and all that. So it's one thing that if people don't respect you, you respect yourself. With time, they will come to understand your work and why they need to respect you.
Yes, so you wear your committee, chairperson's committee cap now. Last year, we have seen certain complaints that, okay, my story is good, my story is award-winning one, but I was not nominated. So how do you deal with issues like this, or is it from the story more you're stopping as an award? Like it doesn't say judges see. If they feel like that this story fits for our award, then they will give you. If they think that like it's not necessary or amut criteria so guys then they will drop it. But what if you feel like, how do you deal with those cases? Because sometimes maybe they come certain cases you see wow, this is my story and you do gonna figure and follow nominate but then I feel that this story is good. How do you deal with those issues?
Things do happen. You know,
yes.
Mariama, organize program that expect they can do about the program.
Yeah.
Possible. So organize a program but then criticize or certain things. How many program was not good. You expect these things to happen. And the interesting part of it is that there are criteria that are set for the judges. For you as an individual, you might think this is a very, very good story. But then looking at the eyes of the judges, said, hey, na lolu, nekut fa. Man, the mun ko gis ma fu na story is good. But then again, nga holal ko ñom nañ ko gis ñu no, what we are looking at, it's not actually there. And then for the judges in most cases, 5 judges that per se. Ku nekk dafa review a story, man ma review, younger review, ñep review the same story. So yow so gisee ne comme yow you will bring your reasons as to lu tax nga foog ne the story is fine. Ku nekk bring sa reasons. So su fekkee yéen ñep reaching leen consensus ngeen vote over the story or not. That is how most of this action, that is how they actually do their judges. Moo tax duñ dee bugg a am an even number when it comes to the judges. Dañ dee bugg a am an odd number. Nga xam ne su fekkee 2 vote na fii 2 vote na there is one person that will actually remain. Do you understand?
So the mean come each entry judges ku nekk you okay man what I thought was you'll have, let's say for arts and culture you will have some judges that are okay with the issue ñoom rek ñooy view loolu noonu, those who are okay with health ñoom ñooy focus on health issues. But I didn't know like it was like all categories.
Xam nga lu xew comme most judges ñu am yëpp they've all been not bit reporters but they've all been all round reporting. Okay. Yes, all rounders. So some of the things you in there said report say more the clarity of the story, creativity, impact, sa grammar and these are simple things that people yow xëy na mun ngaa lii ba pare xëy na mun nga am benn error or something, so mun ngaa dem nga am yow sa story bi mu equate ak bu annex bi waaye yow ñu demaat ñu xoolaat ñu gis ne yow sa grammar bi dafa xala des si benn level. For example, so when it comes to that level xëy na they will take annex stories over yours. So because then they get so tied up there, especially last year it was a really tight.
Was it 188
yes, last year was really tight. It was really very difficult for the judges to actually come to a consensus. After at some point judges then over 5 minutes in a category. We had to go back to them and did it. 5 minutes the category, you have to trim it down to 3.
Oh, okay. So this year for many it looks promising. Because of the information that I normally see the committee releases, you know, the outstanding stories that we have. So come the family, journalism is improving and the way journalists are doing their work or the way journalists are carrying out stories is improving.
Yeah, it is. But for them, they just story. Why? The award the next year. So you usually hear from these people. So then they just come, Nini are actually inspired. Come, I'll just take Mayubututi, not Nadamajai, Majak or something. Some students, mostly, I will tell them that when you write storyboard, write it as if you are going to present it, put award.
Exactly.
So that is when you put that heart in the story that you are going to write. Come at some point, you're difficult. Which stories will I even bring forward? More you win award. So that is how it is. Like you tell stories.
Exactly.
Workshop and everything. It's not story. Those are not the stories that people want. There are so many stories that you can talk about, and these things are things that could actually make impact.
Exactly.
Imagine writing a story and at some point for a particular community, for example, and at the end of the day, your story make impact. You receive support because of that particular story. If we Amolo Awards, that feeling alone will mean something.
Yeah, exactly.
When you write stories, people should actually see themselves in the stories that you write, and that is what we actually promote. So when you do this awards, win award, but then buga kuyonga to motivate la to do more. Because now you're so winning award this year, next year win an award. That actually becomes a part of you.
Okay.
So when you write something like this, then they did stories, you submit winning award, that's not it. That should not be the motivation. That should not be the
Commander, all the water
yeah, exactly. So you can continue because information is everyday thing. Nit ñi dañ soxla information on a daily basis. Comme like ñun de soxla food pour consume correct. That's the same thing with information. There exists this unquenchable thirst for information in this country. Yeah. Every day people need information to feed them. So how best would you try to feed people with information? But then again, when I talk about information, it should be the right information. Because sometimes you ask the question as it, the type of information you give, you ask yourself, is it the right time? Is it the right people?
I think I'll come back to you because your mic is not working. Annette, let's talk about what the winner will have on that particular day, because you have said like 3 people will be nominated in each category, and out of these 3, only 1 person will go home with the award. So what is the person going home with?
Okay, like I said, it's a year of surprises.
Okay.
It's going to be an exceptional year. Take that word from me, right? We have not...
So are you expecting $1 million? Somebody going home with $1 million?
Hang on, suma yëf di tuuti.
Di tuuti kay.
Suma yëf di tuuti. Te dama bëgg lu bari. And I don't make promises. Because dama bari seytaane. So bëgguma ko ma waxoon yaa ko fi waxoon. But all I can tell you is...
Am nga ma waxoon waxet rek?
Bokkuma si. Day yaaxa integrity. So li ma wax mooy, what I'm going to say is, award B, su soobee yàlla, it's going to be one of the best awards Gambians have ever seen, including us journalists, right? Really? Benn ñaar mënuma toog ma ne la ne soo winee di nga am 500,000 wala naa la jox moto waaye mun naa laa wax ne képp koo xam ne miinoon nga di win award the past 8 years suñ la joxee award this year di nga xam ne li ma am at bi duma ko daan am at bi pass.
Maanaam daal we can expect, you know,
like I said, we
lot of goodies,
start small and grow big. Te ñu ngi woon toddler stages. Now we are teenagers.
Because the 2020, the 2020 award was a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was part of the winners. Yeah, I was part of the winners. It was a nice one. So I don't know whether it will be exactly like the 2021 or.
Déguloo ma de lépp loo xam ne musoon nga koo am si award. Amal ne di nga am lu raw loolu si this year's award.
Dañu lifinal tuuti rek.
No.
Gis nga luñ mënti bëgg a def suñ éene si award bi actually upana loolu. Lépp lu ñoo bëgg a def aw suñ éene si award bi upana loolu. That was the time maa ngi tooga na président maa ngi wax ma ne ko ne sax bëggoon naa sax pour ñu lii award winner bi this journalist of the year sax waroon na am moto mu ne ma hee
exactly
VP mu ne ma hee VP sa lii nu sa xalaat lii na de man ko man ko ne loolu lañ bugga ñun dañ bugga comme ñu tiitaru dañ bugga suñ morom ñu tiitaru buñ gis ne waaw suñ ñu am lu ndamoo la ñu am lu ñoo ndamoo like liggéey bi yombut Mariama Cham imaginal fo num tuddati yaa ngi liggéey every day in the week benn bés bii rek nga am so it should be something that you should live to remember nga toog nga ne alhamdulillah suma liggéey bi moo ma jox lii tey. You know how that feels. Exactly. That is ñun noonu lañ nekk di visionnaire this every day suñ amee meeting every day suñ waxee dama leen dee wax I repeatedly say this ma ne xamoon nu mu faa demee de waaye I want this year to be one of the best awards ever organized by the GP. Xamoon nu mu faa demee de xamoon nu mu faa demee de.
Wow, exactly. I wanted to come to that. Yes, because you know why? You can have like, okay, let's say 30 entries in one category, and out of this 30, you are lucky to be part of the luckiest 3. And boobu noonu comme winner bi rek leen dee jox prize, then the 2 is just a thank you. Yeah, so I think the GPU should, you know, change that narrative.
Listen, kanam rawut bot. Like she said, the ambition is too high. Mébét bi bari na. Éene bi rëy na. Waaye ndax mu ngi fa.
Okay.
Ndax mu ngi fa. That's the question. Ndax mu ngi fa. Te yow war nga xam ne, like she said, moom moto la doon séntu. Keneen a ngay séntu a piece of land.
Yeah, I think there are journalists.
That was once. That was just once. But how did they end up getting it? It's usually very tiring. It's a long road. Process. You know, danga negotiate basona. Why so fekon ne sponsors they then come on board. Halis is readily available. Wallahi so company bi joxe wut because halis bi mong for we invest in it because it's worth it. Jar nako. Okay. I mean, get to let's just put it this way. Tey ma nekk journalist of the year nga xam ne si journalist of the year boobu laa amee kër ak moto ndax ñi ndaw ñi wala ñi apply award bi duñ defan extra effort. Exactly. Ku nekk dafa bëgg a bokka. So loolu noonu rek it's a motivation for the journalist. Loolu rek it's a motivation. And then nga seetaat suñ media landscape bi fay bi amut doole baaxut léegi yow su fekkee ne noonu ngaa motivated journalist you get to retain a lot of journalists with the hope ne one day they will win an award and get something from it because du ne ñoom dañoo yaakaar award bi rek pour tekki waaye tamit dañ koo ndamoo.
So Aisha, when do we expect the nominated individuals? Because we know the award is on the 16th of December.
That's going to be the first week of December. So the judges are expected to be done by the end of this month.
So they're currently on their
they are currently working on it.
Okay.
So they are expected to be done by the 3rd of December. So by on the 4th or on the 5th, we will start actually releasing the names of the shortlisted candidate nominees for the awards.
Okay, so before we close, we'll give you guys the opportunity because I know most of you are watching, and you know this is the National Journalism Awards, and if you invest in it, you're not investing in vain because one way or the other you will need the media. You might not need the media today, but you might need the media tomorrow. So the National Journalism Awards Committee is here to talk about the awards. It is not late for you to chip in, you know, whatever you have. Just to make sure that the Journalism Award is a success. So let's talk about, you know, people and the sponsors and things.
The only thing that I will actually want to say is that all of those that have actually committed themselves and they are going to support us, they should actually try by all means and help us. And those that we've also reached out to that we've never reached out to before, you can come on board. We are not throwing anything that is given to us. Anything small we value because whatever you do for journalists, you've done it for the entire country. And I think it's actually important. We should be able to take ownership of the work that journalists do because the importance of journalists in this country cannot be overemphasized. And I think it's as we inch closer to the awards that is in December 16, we are hopeful that more sponsors and more support, people that will support us will actually come on board to make it something that is going to be one of the most memorable events of the year.
képp kuy seetaan rek yaa xam si looy yëngu ak ci loo ne lii pour yow la loo ci dugal doo ko réccu. Come on guys, we are the media.
Well, okay, what about the health yes, the health people?
No, I'm technically talking to Adama Barrow and everybody in this country.
Report. Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody is involved, whether you are a politician, whether or not.
It doesn't matter who you are.
We have all the categories.
It doesn't matter
in
who you are.
In various aspects of
from President Adama Barrow.
Yes.
Basi last nit ki ko feel ne yow set nga sa bopa yaay the last person right. Comme génnuloo ci gaal gi derem bi génnut gaal gi. Because at the end of the day ndax am na koo xam ne yaa ngi eewoo Gambia nga ne dooy dégga news wala dooy gis news wala dooy déglu. Am na. I'm not too sure. Even if you're not interested in news, you sit in places where people listen to news. And you sit with people that discuss current issues and things that are happening in the country. So from the president down to the last person, the Gambia National Journalism Awards like 2023 is in few weeks' time. And we urge you to do what is expected of you. Si president bi lay dooree de tey Barrow su xooloon cabinet am bi mu ne leen ne dama bëggoon every ministry mu jël award bu nekk under ministry the story would be different.
Exactly.
Sëñ bi you are part of us and you promise to be with us even though yaa ngee génn gaal bi di dugga loolu yëpp nekkul suñ problème ñun sa xarit lañ. Maybe yow yaa ñu gisee wut as a friend. You do good we talk about it, you do bad we talk about it. That is the beauty of the press. Faruñ fen bokkuñ fen. Moo tax Aïcha mu ne la ne am na place yoo xam ne comme doo fa dee bëgg a dem. Because dangaa bañ ñu ne kii parce que daf la joxoon dafa sponsor sa award bi moo tax tey mu am an issue you don't report about it su dee loolu la nit ñi di xalaat they're getting it wrong amut. So they should just come on board. Borom businesses yu ndaw yi ñu ngi ut exposure ñu ngi ut network. I'm telling you this is the biggest event that brings all media houses in the country in one venue, one day, one platform, and there is no way event bi mu jeex doo am business from ñu ñëw si place boobu noonu te there is no way even bi jeex kenn gisut sa brand wala xàmmeewut la or recognised la. So I think ne loolu tamit nekk na loo xam ne nit ñi war nañ koo consider because branding is very fundamental. It's very important. So people need to start realizing that, and Gambians don't really value branding. Gambians duñ dee invest in advertisement. That's just the truth. And it's high time we start doing that. Not because awards committee bi ñoo fi toog, but this is just the reality.
Exactly.
This is just what is in the ground. event Gambia lum la dee wax mooy having sponsors is very difficult. Guys, ñaata women organizations ñoo nekk si dëkk bi suba ngoon guddee bëccëg ñu ngi organize workshop, ñu ngi organize training, ñu ngi organize meeting, ñu ngi organize outreach, talking about women's rights, talking about children's rights, talking about human's rights. Ana ñooñu ñooñu suñ ñëwoon on board ñoom ñetta rek ñu ne ok man am naa 10 kii am naa 10 kii am naa 10 duñ fi toog di wax waxi am funding.
Exactly.
ñaata nit ñoo fi nekk ñoo xam ne they call themselves sport enthusiasts, sport lovers, football lovers, call the name. ñaata nit a fi nekk xanaa tey benn businessman bu wax ne moom bëggul dara lu dul seetaan football ak bëri daf ma bëgg a wax ne dafa ñaaka benn bëri benn wrestling journalist or sport journalist buy apply si award bi ñaakut. You talked about health. What is more important than health in this country? We have a business and financial reporting category.
Politics.
Ana businessman yi si dëkk bi yëpp pour kenn mu jóg sponsor business reporting bi. ñaata politician lañ fi am. ñaata xaalis la ñoo dugal si campagne baroo ngi nii di ñëw si dentoo benn mu xaalis bu ñuy fuelee benn moto rek pour too bi ko ba na benn award. dëgg am du dëgg fuel lu gaay di invest si fuel rek benn bés pour move moto yu gaay park my dentin bridge yëpp ndax loolu mënut a sponsor political reporting category bi. Will it not be an honor and pride to say ne president bi moo fund political reporting of the year?
Or the president funded the 2023 National Journalism Award.
Like,
that would be a headline.
It would be a headline. This will just content baro needed to wax ne moom dafa support press bi. That alone would show support. But hey, Mr. President, if you do it, we'll have an award. If you don't, we will have an award. Like, comme li ma ko dee wax rek léegi nag xam nga dañ nekk si dëkk boo xam ne nit ñi buggatuñ neexlante bi dañ dee bugga ku leen wax dëgg bi te dëgg bi mooy su soobee yàlla dinañ award te dinañ yëg ne award nañ su ñoo nelaw sax dinañ yëg ne award nañ lii maa la ko wax du yomba.
So Aisha, do you have anything to say that I need to ask?
Well, actually, I think we've already said everything. We all make sure that we are able to make this forthcoming award a memorable one. It's for journalists, and that's what we actually stand for.
Yeah, I think it's the National Journalism Awards, and it is a Gambian award. It is a national award because this is done once every year. So, and they're having issues, you know, with the finance and all the other things. So if you are watching and you are interested in any of the categories, but Annette, you're different in categories.
I'm 17 categories.
Yeah.
Team bisa, for now maybe tamet team bi. People need to really pay attention to this. But then first thing, nang start a categories. Okay, yung non wax categories while listening ko. From first one, be my business and financial reporting category be. Nga am sport reporting category be. And then you have the environmental reporting category. Nga am health and medical reporting category. Nga am women's category. Nga am children's category, travel and tourism awards category. Then you have agricultural reporting, you have legal affairs, you have, how to call it, culture, arts and entertainment. And then you have photojournalism, Monica people behind the scene, Natal Kachi, a camera crew. Then human rights reporting, you have migration and human trafficking awards category, you have the political reporting, and of course you have the investigative reporting. Comme Aisha num waxe rek nga am the new category mu nekk security affairs reporting, of course rural reporting tamet mu fa. People need to understand ne am na ñoo xam ne ñu ci rural area bi all they do is rural stories. So we have rural reporting award tamet. And then the most important one, which is not a contested award, list bi mu dee aga 18, so people realize that the list is 18, but in reality it's 17 because journalist of the year is not contested for. Who win more of the awards gets to be the journalist of the year. So basically, these are the 17, how to call it, these are the 17 categories we have. And then the most important thing that people need to know, Monica, the theme of the year, which is breaking from the past. And when we talk about breaking from the past, we're talking about safeguarding the principles of press freedom and freedom of expression.
Okay.
So these are things.
Yeah, the security award. It would be nice to say the Gambia National Army sponsored the security award, or the Gambia Police Force, or the Gambia Immigration, because this is about security.
Absolutely.
And as far as you know, you are a security apparatus in this country, there's a category for you. Absolutely. Politics, all the politicians involved, there's a category for you to sponsor. And the business community as well, GCCI, there's a business, there's a category for you to sponsor. So these are the categories. Wherever you are in any sector that you are involved in, you know, health, journalism, politics, sports, whatever you are doing, and you think that you can sponsor a category, please, the Journalism Awards is here. Those are open for any support. So ñii lañ fi amoon tey muy National Journalism Awards committee bi award bi nag mooy delloo njukkal taskati xibaar yi si biir réew mi fii ba ñu ko dee def at bu nekk at bii nag ñu ko war a def si on the 16 maanaam weer bii di ñëw su amee fukki fan ak juróom benn si lañ koo def venue bi nag ba léegi it's not confirmed yet, but as time goes on we'll keep you guys posted, and if any of you want to sponsor any of the categories or support the National Journalism Awards in December, you can just reach out to the Gambia Press Union at any time. Those are open. So di leen fi amaloon di leen jox dig daje ba ëllëg ak jàmm inshallah, and then thank you so much for coming, the president of the Women Journalists Association and the brands and communication person for this year's award, and also Eyeafrica, who is the current vice president of the Gambia Press Union and doubles as the chairperson of this year's National Journalism Awards. So we are saying a very big thank you to yéen ñi nga xamante ne yéen a doon seetaan tamit fi nga xamante ne mooy Eyeafrica TV breakfast show bi di leen jox dig daje ba ëllëg ak jàmm inshallah, ba Saturday kay inshallah ñu isiwaat leen beneen topic of discussion with interesting issues to talk about. Bye bye.